Hi, welcome back. I hope you're all doing really, really good. As usual, I've been like stupid busy and haven't really been around much, but I'm slowly catching up on everybody's videos. I'm almost current now, you know. I hope everybody's doing really, really good. I miss you guys. I wanted to do a kind of a sort of a VR, but what seems to be the trend with me nowadays is that I'll see a video and I'll want to make a response to it, and then like 6 months later, I'll actually get around to it. So I don't actually think this video is up on YouTube anymore. I wanted to respond to Brittany, who used to be the Sunshine State Witch. She's very recently changed her name. She's abridged to Brittany now. And kudos to her. Hell yeah, girl. She is making big boss moves, and she just made her own website so she could get away from YouTube. So I think the link is in her channel description. Like, her channel is still here. She just doesn't have stuff on it. But everybody go check that out. So roughly 6 months ago, Brittany made a video, and I forget what it was titled, but the gist of it was, how do you actually use crystals? She had done a poll, and she had asked a bunch of people what they do with their crystals, because we hear a lot of, oh, rose quartz is for love, and black tourmaline is for protection, and like, we know what the crystals are for, but there weren't so many people talking about what they actually do with the crystals to make use of those attributes, right? And just like that, my train of thought went out the window with a bird on the lawn. I thought this was a great topic because that's one of the big things that I was really confused about when I first started my like spiritual journey, is I would hear people say things like, oh, smoky quartz helps ground you, but they wouldn't explain like how, right? Or moonstone puts you in touch with the cycles of the moon. Okay, but what do I do with it? I was always really lost trying to figure out, like, do I lick the crystal? Do I hang it up in my room? Do I like have to pet it and talk to it? What do I do with the crystal? I think the key to my personal understanding of how I want to use crystals stemmed from me figuring out how I think crystals work. Pardon me while I wax scientific. I have a lot of earth in my chart, and it's generally easier for me to understand and then convey things if I relate them to something observable and tangible in some way. So you know, I'm not a scientist. It's been a long time since 6th grade chemistry. But everything I'm about to go over is like readily available on the beautiful wide world of the internet. You can Google these things. So these are the Cliff's Notes, right? All matter is made up of atoms, right? Atoms having protons, nucleons. Jeez. You see, not a scientist. Protons, neutrons, and electrons. And, you know, when they come together, they form different shapes and different configurations, and these are molecules. So when you break things down to the smallest parts they can possibly be, everything in our known universe is the same stuff, right? You, me, the cat, and the crystal are all electrons just stuck together in different shapes. Molecules like to get together and form shapes. The molecules of solids in particular will form very organized, very structured shapes, and we call these lattices or crystal lattices. And almost every solid on the planet technically is crystalline in nature. I'm sure we've all seen something like this. This is all the same water molecule in different shapes because of different temperatures, right? The cool thing about this is that we see images of like a crystal structure, like molecules in a line. But what we don't portray in a drawing is that these things are constantly moving. Every electron is not only spinning on an axis, it is orbiting in its own little groove, like a teeny tiny planet, right? And then it's also hopping between valences within its atom, valence shells, right? So they're all jiggling and bebopping around, like everything is moving or vibrating at its own speed. Now from here on, I feel like I've read this before and there's a name for this, but I am having trouble finding the source again. So let's say, for the sake of being accurate, that this is all a hunch that I have. Imagine you are at a party or at a bar and you're bebopping around, right? You're moving, you're dancing, whatever. Eventually you're gonna bump into people. And the attitude that we have when we bump into people largely dictates what happens next, right? If I'm like, oh, my bad, man, I'm sorry, let me buy you a drink, maybe I just made a friend. But if I'm like, oh, hey, jerkwad, get out of the way, I was dancing here, right? Now we're gonna fight. The point is, we influence each other's energy, right? And that, I believe, is going on all the time between all these electrons and things, all these atoms at a molecular level. Everything is influencing everything else's energy. It's just on such a subtle, infinitely small level that we don't perceive it. Or do we? You are what you eat. But that's a whole different rabbit hole to go down. We can talk about wave theory here just a little bit too. Waves in phase will build on each other, they'll amplify each other, and waves 180 degrees out of phase will cancel each other out. But I'm trying to keep this video short. I think that we are better able to pick up on the energy of minerals, like crystals or even the everyday rock out of your backyard, as opposed to the energy of the water in the atmosphere or solar radiation, because as physical creatures on this physical planet and this physical plane, we are naturally moving at this slower, steadier vibration. It's how we like manifest, right? We are structure-wise closer to a rock than we are to a bolt of lightning. And so that organization, I guess, that transfer of energy has less of a gap to leap over. If that makes sense. I know we're getting a little more into the woo here. But that's why we're here. Fun fact of the day. All of your cellular membranes and every strand of DNA in every single cell in your body is a liquid crystal. Look that one up. Have a fun couple hours looking that one up. You are made of liquid crystals. Okay, come on, get to the fun part. How do you use the crystals? Because I feel like this crystal energy transfer is rooted in their physicality, I have to be in physical proximity to them to feel them, to get something from them. I have to touch the rock. I have to have it in my hand or very, very close to my person. I keep them in my pocket. That's 90% of my interaction with my crystals, is I specifically get small tumbles so I can keep them in a pocket So they're on me throughout the day so I can, you know, like I look like I'm standing around with my hands in my pocket, but I'm really like I got it in my hand, I'm rolling it around on my thumb. You want to know what that, you know, that little pocket on your jeans, you don't know what it's for? You know, this dude here, you know what it's for? It's for crystals, now you know. That's your crystal pocket. One of the big recommendations that I hear people make is meditate with your crystals. That's never really worked out for me. When I meditate, what I'm trying to do is like free my mind of my body, right? So holding on to something physical, like I don't want to feel anything that I'm holding on to. You know, I don't want to have to hold on to a crystal and think about it, or I don't want to, I've tried visualizing entering the crystal and walking around, and that also hasn't really panned out for me. Every once in a rare while, I will draw a bath, and I will take certain crystals into a bath with me, and that it's not really meditation. It's like a light meditation that I do. I'll, first off, it's specific crystals. It's really only members of the quartz family because they are solid enough that they're not going to be ruined by being submerged in the water. So quartz, rose quartz, smoky quartz, amethyst, citrine, that gang of mineral. But I'll draw a bath and I'll take the crystal and I'll lay back and I'll set it on my, oh my God, what's this called? Heart chakra or my solar plexus or whatever like chakra center I'm working on. And I will just have it close to me, like that extra contact while I will relax and think about whatever I'm thinking about in the bathtub. I do have one selenite wand, just a little one, that I keep in the car. You know, by the rear view mirror, there's that like drop down pocket where people keep sunglasses, or you're supposed to keep, that's a selenite pocket. When traffic is really bad or somebody cuts me off or whatever, I'm just mad in traffic, I'll touch the selenite and I'll like either pull the energy out of it, or if I have time, like traffic sitting still, I'll take it, the wand itself, and I'll like scrub myself as if I'm lathering up in the shower. I'll like do one of these things, and it's cleaning, like I visualize lather and scrubbing bubbles, and it's like cleaning all that nasty, yucky shit off of me. Because I've heard, like, again, people say, you know, oh, selenite is cleansing. Selenite, it clears the aura. And I'm like, okay, cool. How does it work, right? I had to visualize cleaning. This works really well, too, combined with trees. There's a place on the way home where our little backcountry road twists and turns through this really thick forest. Everyone around here calls it the tunnel of trees because you can't see, it's just trees. It's awesome. And I will, if I've had like a really bad day at work or if I'm just feeling really grungy and nasty, right, I'll do the selenite thing, like right before I get to the tunnel of trees, I'll like get all scrubbed up, right? And then as I'm going through it, I'll say, okay, trees, it's loose now, take it. And I will like offer all that, I don't want to call it negative energy, but like all of that, any energy that's not mine, I'll like offer it up to the forest, and I'll imagine like, kind of like when you go through a car wash and those flippy things, they go past you, like past the car. I'll imagine like all the branches and the leaves of the trees just rolling past my car and rolling past me and like taking that energy so they can recycle it and use it for whatever they want to use it for. Because I don't really Like, there's no good energy and bad energy. There's just energy that's not right for you in that place and time. I don't want to get off on a tangent, but anyway, lather up with selenite and then let the trees have all the gook. And then, of course, you know, crystals are pretty. So anything that is not a small tumble that'll fit in my pocket, like I have a couple of spheres, and I have a couple that are like rough and will stand up on their own little base, and those are just scattered around my house for look pretties, because I like them. Well, chances are you read the title of this video and you did, well, some of you are here to listen to me blab about electrons, and some of you don't mind staring at a brick wall for 20 minutes, but I feel like a lot of you are here to see the pretties. So give me a sec, I'll find some. This is a rose quartz. It's very pink and pretty. This is one of the ones that comes into the bathtub with me. It is very smooth. This is a black moonstone. So shiny. This is a black moonstone. I used to try to put crystals under my pillow when I go to sleep at night to see if I had dreams and such, but I stopped after I discovered this one because I was not sleeping. I was having such trippy, weird-ass, surrealist dreams, like nightmares, and just all kinds of crazy things were happening at night, and beautiful stone, great stone. Like 2 out of 10 do not recommend sleeping under your pillow. This is a labradorite. This is my favoriteest crystal ever. This is actually the first kind of crystal that I ever had. Got it at a farmer's market in San Diego. And this little one actually, I have a couple of them. This one in particular, my kid took it to school one day and gave it to a friend of his. And I was like, shit, I'm never gonna see it back, right? Like, kids probably lost it in the wash or something by now. It's been 2 hours. But I kind of forgot about it because it was like 6 months later. It was like a long time. The friends gave the stone back to my son to give back to me. And I've never, it's just why, like, you lose crystals now and again, right? They've done their purpose. They have someone else to go to, however you want to look at it, you know, they disappear. They find a way to go away from you and to another person. I've had that happen a lot, but like, I've never had one come back before. So I guess we're friends. This one, I love this one so much. So pretty. And this little fella from my pocket is I'm having the hardest time showing you anything right now because the light is astounding in here. It's a sunroom. It's too sunny. This is a rose Lemurian seed. I think it's a seed. Yeah, a rose Lemurian seed quartz. I don't know if you can see the rosiness. Now I want to know how you all do it. How do you use crystals? Do you carry them around? Do you make potions out of them? Do you roll your candles in them? Like, share with me. I'm really curious and interested in knowing. How do you think the whole thing works? How do you think we as humans pick up on the crystal vibes? As always, I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you later. Toodles!